Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Brothas-in-law. Uh, if you're new to this channel, my name is Corey, and on this channel here, we talk about police-involved incidents that occur around the country. And Mike and I give our analysis on whether the actions of those police officers are what a reasonable officer would do. And we also look at the actions of the citizens to see if they have followed or acted them calm, which stands for comply, answer questions, listen, and move on, whether the situation had turned out differently. So we got a good one lined up, high speed chase. We'll look at both sides again. Who is acting as a reasonable person, and so we'll break that down and have a good discussion about it. And like to hear your comments about it. So if you're new to our channel, again, please, if you like the content of this video here, please, by all means, go ahead and hit that like, share, and subscribe button for us. We greatly appreciate that. So, like I said, my name is Corey. I'm a former Virginia State Trooper, and I'm also a retired Navy Chief Petty Officer. And my co-host is Mr. Michael Bradley. Welcome, sir.
What's good? What's good, everybody? Thanks for joining us. Jesus loves you. I see you, Goat. I see you, Stacy. I see you. Tone is back.
What's up?
We got a good one lined up. This is a good one because it shows how a police pursuit happens and what goes on in a police pursuit. Especially as far as what the officers are doing while they're pursuing a vehicle. It's not like just like TV where you just go on a pursuit with the lights and siren and you ain't got nothing else to worry about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It ain't like that.
Yeah.
So this does illustrate a real life pursuit and how it goes down. So it's a good one. It's kind of long. It happened this year. In June of this year, I believe.
Yep. Back in June 20th.
In June 20th. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, was it? I think it was Milwaukee.
Yep.
So buckle up, folks. Because you're going to see a pursuit. And then we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about, whether pursuits are good in some places versus others. Some of the things the officers have to consider in doing a pursuit or continuing a pursuit or initiating a pursuit altogether. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about all that stuff.
And you may sit and wonder, well, that's just police stuff, but you as a citizen got to be aware of these things too, because you don't know when these things are going to happen, and you're out there on the road driving and you just hear lights and sirens going, and you don't really know who they're chasing. You might see that car at the last second, and then next thing you know, you're involved in the crash. So these things affect everybody. It's just not the police chasing the subject. Everybody out there is in danger. So we'll take a look at it, like Mike said. But before we get started, like I said, always hit that like, share, and subscribe button for us. And yeah, let's get into it.
All right. I see you, T Hall. Good to see you on here.
Hey, Gary. You got gas?
All right. This happened, like I said, June 20th this year in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let me start off. Here we go.
24. At approximately 2:23 p.m., Milwaukee police officers attempted to conduct a felony stop at N.17th Street and West Vliet Street. The vehicle stopped was wanted in connection to an attempted armed robbery carjacking that occurred on the 500 block of North Broadway. The vehicle was also wanted in connection to an armed robbery carjacking that occurred earlier in the day in the 500 block of North Jefferson Street.
Okay, so that's two armed robberies. And this
add the video to your screen. They can't see it.
Oh, my bad. We're gonna do this again. I'm sorry, folks. Let me fix this up real quick.
All right, there you go.
All right, let me start it over. This vehicle that they see matches the description of a vehicle that was involved in two armed robberies that same day. Okay, so that should set your mind up right at the gate of what you might be dealing with as an officer. Here we go.
Yeah.
2024, at approximately 2:23 p.m., Milwaukee police officers attempted to conduct a felony stop at North 17th Street and West Vliet Street. The vehicle stopped was wanted in connection to an attempted armed robbery carjacking that occurred on the 500 block of North Broadway. The vehicle was also wanted in connection to an armed robbery carjacking that occurred earlier in the day in the 500 block of North Jefferson Street.
Driver, shut the vehicle off! Driver, shut the vehicle off! Do it now! You're now southbound on 17th Street from Vliet. Vehicles in the wrong way of traffic. Clear the correct lane. White Chevy tracks, no plates. One of the armed robberies on District 1. Approaching Highland. Vehicles now found on Highland.
Right, stop right there, Mike. Back it up to where he made that turn right there.
District 1.
Right here.
Yep. So as you see now, this cop is in pursuit of this vehicle, and this is why I said a few minutes ago, you know, you as a citizen, yeah, this concerns you too. This would be very alarming to you because you're out here on, you know, on your everyday routine, dropping the kids up at school, running to the store to run a few errands or whatnot, and you coming down the street, and lo and behold, coming in the wrong direction. Here's a car getting ready to make a left turn in the opposite lane of travel, and just barely misses his car for a head-on collision. And so I say all that to say, you know, it's important. We have to be alert when we're driving. We can't be distracted on your cell phones or you know, whatever you doing in the car. Put makeup on in the vehicle. Some ladies. Or watching a movie on your cell phone. No, we have to be paying attention what we're doing, knowing who's around us, and looking at everybody's driving habits, because you don't know. This happens every day.
Yeah, and not remember, this person is driving down the wrong side of the street. There could be a head-on collision or anything. There are some departments that will it's required for the officer to cancel the pursuit in that situation. Some departments will say if they go down the wrong way of the street, you cancel that pursuit because you're putting too many innocent people in danger. Like when he made that turn right here, as you will see, he barely misses that car that's there. That could have been very ugly if that would have been a head-on crash. So, you know, in this department, I'm not sure. They probably don't, obviously they don't have a policy that requires them to cancel automatically in this situation. But let's keep it going. And as you can see, he's calling out the pursuit. The officer is calling out where he's going. He's calling out speeds. He's calling out traffic conditions. He's calling out road race conditions. He's calling out all these things because all that information, a supervisor is at the police department right now listening to this pursuit. And that information is what he or she needs to determine if they need to override what this officer is doing and cancel the pursuit, continue the pursuit, or whatever. So it's not just this officer that's driving this patrol car. It's also the supervisor who's not on scene, who's listening to this pursuit. Here we go.
Vehicles now eastbound on Highland from 17th.
still in the wrong lane of travel. We're in the correct lane of travel.
Rear passengers got camel clear.
Rear passengers camel hoodie. Continuing eastbound. Speeds are approximately 30 miles per hour. Approaching 13th.
That was used in the robbery description.
All right, coming up to 12th. All right, he's going to hit the gas station parking lot on 12th and Highland. Coming out on 12th, now northbound on 12th from Highland. White Chevy Trax, no plates, looks to be occupied 3 or 4 times. Rear passenger has a camel babe hoodie described as armed robbery. Westbound. Westbound on Juno, crossing 13th. Speeds are approximately 50 miles per hour. All right, northbound 14th from Juno. Continuing northbound, passing McKinley, approaching Vliet. We're going to be eastbound, I believe, from 14th Street in pursuit of a white Chevy Trax, wanted for armed robbery carjacking on District 1. Looks to be occupied at least 4 times. Southbound on 12th from Vliet. Speeds are 25 miles per hour. Continuing south on 12th, crossing McKinley. Multiple occupants, at least 4 occupants. White Chevy Trax, wanted for armed robbery out of District 1. Speeds are 40 miles per hour. Traffic is clear. Roads are dry. 3231, 1 minute. Right there. East. We're now north from Highland on the freeway on-ramp. 43 northbound. All right, coming 43 northbound from Highland. You see that White Chevy Trax. Go ahead and pass just with the sheriffs and pass just with D5 right away, please. 3233 in pursuit of a white Chevy Trax. Opens to the car, continuing northbound. White van hit on the freeway. Notify the sheriffs. The occupancy will be okay.
Somebody stop with the car.
Somebody stop with that vehicle. Make sure they're all right. Continuing northbound on 43. Speeds are 88. Traffic is moderate. Road conditions are dry. It's a white Chevy Trax, no plates, occupied 4 times, wanted for an armed robbery out of District 1. Continuing northbound. Northbound on 43, crossing North Avenue. Speeds are 79. Traffic is moderate. Continuing northbound. All right, getting some congestion here. Speeds are approximately 75 miles per hour. White Chevy Trax taking an armed robbery carjacking on District 1. Occupied at least 4 times. So, all right, getting stuck in traffic. We're just south of the Locust exit here. Make sure we're patching 5. All right, we're exiting Locust here from continuing 43 northbound, passing Locust. White Chevy Trax, no plates, wanted for armed robbery carjacking out of District 1. Speeds are 68 miles per hour. We're on the shoulder of 43 northbound, still in traffic here. All right, continuing northbound on 43. Quarter mile from Keith. White Chevy Trax, no plates, occupied 4 times, wanted for armed robbery carjacking District 1. All right, continuing northbound, 43 north.
He moving right now.
White Chevy Trax, no plates, occupied 4 times, wanted for armed robbery carjacking District 1. Speeds are 70. Traffic currently light. Road conditions are dry. All right, continuing northbound, passing Keith.
It's a pretty long pursuit.
Yeah.
You're in a construction lane. It's possible this lane ends.
I mean, when you're actually going through it as law enforcement, it really doesn't seem that long. But watching the rerun of the videos, yeah.
We're gonna pause it right here, Corey.
Okay.
This is the end of the pursuit, so the next phase begins. and that's contacting the suspects, getting them out of the car, or making sure the car even stops. If it doesn't stop, that could be a deadly force situation right there. But leading up to this point, you notice how the officer, he did a good job. He was calling out the pursuit. He kept the speed going, the traffic conditions, the roadway conditions. And in this video, it seems like the officers had two officers per car. Now, we only had one officer per car. So if you only got one officer per car, guess what? Not only are you in the pursuit, you also are the one calling the pursuit. You know what I'm saying? So imagine driving 80 plus, 90 plus, and being on the radio at the same time calling the pursuit. You know what I'm saying? At least with two officers, you have one officer calling the pursuit, and you have this next officer who's actually concentrating on driving.
Yeah, it's definitely can be dangerous because you have to have your head on a swivel and maintain situational awareness of everything going around you as you're driving at 100 plus miles per hour, trying to get this vehicle stopped. And so, again, everybody's listening over the radio what's going on. That they got units coming to them, because for us, once we call out a pursuit, that's it. Everybody's coming unless the lead officer or trooper in this case calls it out and says, now they're good or whatnot. But everybody's listening. Like you said, Mike, especially the supervisors and on up, everybody is listening. That's the higher ups, supervisor level. Everybody's listening when the pursuit is called out and see what's going on. But for us, I don't know about other agencies, but everybody has the authority to cancel a pursuit. It does not have to be just the driver who's initiating the traffic stop. So, for example, Mike is in this pursuit. He's leaving vehicle, but I think traffic is a little bit too heavy. I can say, hey, cease, stop, call it off. I forget the code word we used to use to stop the pursuit, but I can call it out over the radio and end the pursuit, cancel the pursuit, and you back off of it. And like Jesus Love You said, the thing about letting them go if traffic got too heavy, because you got to weigh out the risk. Stop these guys as it really were putting the citizens' lives at risk to get this vehicle stopped. You have to weigh all that out. And they might have got away, right? And in their minds, they're gonna be like, yeah, we just got away. Guess what? We're gonna go steal another car tomorrow. Well, tomorrow they get out there and steal a car, and this time they shoot and kill somebody. And but we have to weigh out the risk in these type of situations. And everything here boils down to choices. Now, what you're getting ready to see is these kids about to make the most serious decisions.
Bad choices.
Right. Right. And now who are you gonna blame? Whose fault is it? Right. But we'll see. We'll see.
But like you said, you as an officer, you have all those things that you have to think about while you are actually driving 90 plus miles an hour in the pursuit. You have all those things. You have to call a pursuit. You have to weigh the risk of the pursuit. There are plenty of chances here where as a solo officer, I probably would have canceled it, but they didn't. You know what I'm saying? So if you go down the wrong side of the road, like I say, that sometimes could be an automatic cancel right there. You know what I'm saying? Because you could hit some ongoing citizen on an oncoming traffic and kill the citizen. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So, you got to weigh all that stuff and whether it's worth it to continue this pursuit or not. You know what I'm saying? You look at the crime, look at the people in the car. If you know that, what are you pursuing the vehicle for? What are the conditions like? Is it likely an innocent driver is going to end up in a crash or killed? You know what I'm saying? You have to think about all these things.
Yep.
So that being said, let's continue the video and see what happens.
Shots fired. Officer, no, officers are okay. I just don't live to call for this addition school. Make us welcome.
See, so they're pausing right now because they're figuring out, okay, what's the next step going to be? You see this officer over here brought a shield because you don't know if anybody's armed in this car, okay? Or if the car is going to take off on you again like it tried to do, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever it was doing. But now let's figure out what's the next step. We got to get these people out. I just shot somebody. There could be somebody shot and badly hurt inside the car. All these things are things you have to consider. Here we go.
Stop the vehicle! Stay on the ground! Stay on the ground! Stop the car! Stop the car! Get on the car! Get on the fucking car! Hands up! Stay!
Shots fired.
Hands! Shots fired! Shots fired! That is more car! Everybody get out of the street! Keep your hands where we can see them! Hands up! Shield! Somebody grab the shield! Nobody move!
3233. Officer involved. All officers are okay. Occupants still in the vehicle. Send us additional squads. And lift up one.
Now, Mike, looking at this, could you tell which officer was doing the shooting?
I think it was the one in the middle.
See, I think it was this guy here, the guy with body cam we're looking at.
Okay.
I don't know. I could be wrong. I couldn't see any muzzle flash, but
Keep your hands up! Face away from me! Face away from me! Cross your hands! Stand up! Hey, my guy, stand up! Keep your hands up! Back up towards the sound of my voice! Keep coming! Keep coming! Keep coming! Keep coming! Keep coming! Stop right there! Hold on!
I'm in custody right now. All right, stay right here. Sit down. Sit down.
Come on, let's go! Come on, hurry up! Hurry up!
Stay with him. I haven't searched him yet. All right, come to me. Come to me. Come to me. Do you have any weapons on you?
No, Nate!
Take the next one. All right.
Get out of the car!
We got the red kid.
Shut the freeway down.
Up there, up there. If you don't have medical, roll medical.
I got another discussion going on. Where do you want the freeway shut down exactly?
Shut down northbound and southbound traffic. I'll get your nothing southbound from 76. Exit 76A.
You notice how they're bringing out occupants one at a time, and they're bringing them back towards the back to get them away from the scene. You don't want to try to handcuff everybody in a position where you're unsafe, where you're right there in front of the car that you stopped. You know what I'm saying? So you pulling these suspects back so that they can be properly searched, handcuffed, and secured in the vehicle. Here we go.
How many are shot? 3 shots? Hey. You hear me? We're gonna help you out, okay? Do you have any weapons on you right now? Okay, brother. Step out for me, okay, buddy? Come here. All right, come on. Sit down right here. Sit down right here. Right on the ground. Okay, brother. Let's take a look at you, all right, buddy?
Hey, Delando, I see you.
Do me a favor. Lay down. Nice and easy. Lay down. Lay your head back for me. All right. How old are you? 17. All right, your breathing sounds good. How's your breathing?
17 years old, Mike.
Yeah, you're really good. Okay, you said all occupants. Do you have your hands just right here?
This is the second body cam.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he definitely shot.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, here's one for you folks. And I'm sure this will be something that they'll have have to answer for in court. Was deadly force? Was it necessary to use deadly force in this situation? What do our viewers say? This is a tricky one, I think. This is kind of
Well,
you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Well, it's obvious that they weren't going to stop. Right within that, they were going to find a way to get out of there. Could they use the vehicle as a weapon? Yes. Can the officer justify the use of force? Yes. Is that what I would have done? Probably not. I probably would not never shot. What I would have done was I would box them in and use that cement truck as one of my blocking vehicles and box them in, close them into that vehicle so they can't back up and try to get away. And that's the thing, folks. You know, Mike and I kind of look at ourselves as reasonable officers. We were, and you know, we would do things differently. And it's just, you know, what's right, what's wrong. The bottom line is following policy. If you're feeling like your life is at risk in this type of situation, and you feel that you can articulate. Now, I mean, you're processing all this stuff right now, and it dropped it down, making this decision. You know, is deadly force authorized or not? You don't have time. What's up, Blackjack? You don't have time to sit back and, you know, and pull out a lawn chair and tell them to hold up for a second. I got to figure out if I can use deadly force. Right. It's clear that they were not going. They're not listening. They're not following your commands. Calm acronyms gone out of the window, and you need to get this vehicle stopped. Now, Mike, could they just shot the tires?
Well, we don't train to shoot the tires. Okay,
right. We don't train to shoot the tires.
Okay,
we don't train to shoot the tires. No, we don't. We train to shoot to stop the threat. Who's the threat? The driver in the vehicle. That's
you could also argue that car is a deadly weapon now. we had just got out of stopped the pursuit, a long pursuit, and he still ain't stopping. He's still trying to ram his way out of the situation that he's in. He ain't stopping the car, which now is a deadly weapon. You know, okay? Right. We got 3 officers standing in this enclosed area, and you already backed up and ran to one patrol car, okay? And you going forward and you ram into something else, you know. So at that point, you can argue that that vehicle is being used as a deadly weapon, okay? You don't know if anybody is armed inside that car, okay? So right now, all you got is a car that's ramming his way, whatever way he can, to try to do what? Hit the officers? You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, Corey, the cement truck is in the front, so he ain't going nowhere. And the patrol car is in the back, okay? He ain't going nowhere that way. You got a sound wall on the right side of him, looks like a cement barrier. So he ain't going nowhere there. So you're already in an enclosed space with 3 officers with no cover. And those 3 officers are just standing there. You can
easily articulate that in court.
Yeah, you can easily articulate that.
I'm just saying there's more than one way to. I'm just saying there's more than one way to skin the cat. You don't necessarily have to go to shoot. Right.
That's true.
I mean, because when we get in pursuit, then we're also trained to box men. Now, they had one point a part early in the pursuit where there was no traffic on one particular roadway where I thought he was going to pit him out right there. It'd been a perfect spot to pit this vehicle out. But he didn't. Again, nothing wrong. Continued on with the pursuit. Nothing wrong with that. There's just different things that can be done all the time. No one officer is always going to do the exact same thing. Bottom line is, are you doing what your policy says?
Yeah, yeah. And keep in mind, we had time to sit back and look at this video and think about this for who knows how long. You know, we got time to second guess ourselves. Could this happen? Could that happen? Should you have done this? Should you have done that? These officers at that moment, at that second, they don't have time to think of all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? No. They have to take action. And the first action is stopping this car, okay? Because one of us could get hit with this car if this car doesn't stop. You're already in a confined space, okay, with 3 officers standing there. One of us could get hit if we don't stop this car.
Right. And seriously hurt or killed. Because you don't know, he could have really revved it up and went straight at you. You know, it's a sad situation as always. You hate to see these things happen. Thankfully enough, and I'm pretty sure we'll finish the end. You'll see what they all were charged with and what their maximum sentences could be. But it's just a sad situation. These kids are out here, you know, doing this. Why?
Yeah, these are teenagers. You know what I'm saying?
These are teenagers. And, you know, and these guys, and I'm sure the officers that shot feel pretty bad. You're like, man, we shot some kids. You know, but they had no idea who these folks were and how old they were. They just knew that they're involved in an armed robbery and a carjacking.
That's what I'm saying. So would that have made a difference if they knew how old they were? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Same
actors use the car as a weapon.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that, Corey. As far as blocking them in, I mean, that could work. You know what I'm saying? If you got them boxed in, even if they continue to ram their way out of there, you know what I'm saying, they still can't really go anywhere because they stuck. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I could see both sides. I could see why an officer would shoot, and I could see why an officer may not shoot, but
would you have shot, Mike? Would you have shot?
You know, that's hard. I could sit here and second guess myself over and over again. You know what I'm saying? I don't know because I wasn't in that situation at that time, at that moment. If I felt that car was ramming his way out of there and one of us was going to get hit, yeah, I can see myself shooting. Definitely. If there was no possibility that I saw that either of the officers was going to get hit, maybe I would have boxed him in. You know what I'm saying? I would have kept him boxed in, and at some point he gonna stop ramming the car in front of him and the car behind him. I guess, but that's
I think that's where we different, because that's how we were trained state. In any time, because we're known for getting into pursuits. I mean, other agencies loved when we got into pursuits, right?
Tone says use summer programs.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right.
Okay.
And so the one thing you always want to do is try to get them boxed in, and especially when you have a situation like that, take full advantage of getting them blocked in. That way you don't end up having to, discharge your service weapon. And it's a good tactic to use to be able to box them in, use what's around you to prevent the vehicle from going. And then you go up there and then you bust the window and then start yanking them out the window. That's what we would have done.
Jesus loves you. Make some good points there. Number one, he drove away from the officer. Number two, drove on the wrong side of the road, putting folks' lives in danger. Number three, not following officers' orders. Number four, hitting a patrol car. Probably would have killed cops if they weren't stopped. All that is good stuff. That's the totality of the circumstances, right? So good points. Jesus loves you. As far as why you would use deadly force in that situation, yeah, all that will come into play.
And just think, you gotta process that information at the drop of a dime. I mean, to make that decision, and you hate to be in a situation like that. I had a conversation with a gentleman today, about being an officer. I was like, I told him I pulled my gun out a lot, but I just thank the Lord I never had to fire it. And he said, man, there's no way I could be a cop today. I said, yeah, because you don't know what you're going to roll up on, right? You just have the basic information about this pursuit. And these guys just so happen to roll up on this guy. So you don't know how old they are. You don't know anything other than what the information that came up on your computer. And you got to act on that information. And so, and then you find out they're kids, and these are young adults, between 15 and 18 years of age. And it's just heartbreaking. And, nobody wants to be through that. And I can guarantee it had itchy fingers and wanted to pull the trigger. But keep rolling it, and just watch how the care these officers took, taking care of this young man.
All right, here we go.
Shots fired! That is more cars! Everybody get out of the car! Keep your hands where we can see! Keep your hands up! Shield! Somebody grab the shield!
Oh, that right there. Hold up, real quick, Mike. That's one thing. If my one thing that the negative comment I would have about the cops in this is everybody barking orders. One guy telling everybody to get out of the car, the other guy just saying, let me see your hands, the other one, get out the car, get on the ground. We always train, the only one that's making any commands is the one who initiated the traffic stop. That's the only one, because it gets confusing to the citizens inside the vehicle. Well, one cop is telling you, let me see your hands, the other one's telling you get out the car, the other one's, they don't know who to listen to. Right. And
that's commonly trained, even though you might have some departments that seem to forget that training. That is something that's commonly trained.
But when you're drilling is going. It's like, hey, we gotta do this, and that's why we teach combat breathing. You take that deep breath, exhale, and just let's focus on that, because you get that tunnel vision and you just start seeing this. You're not looking at the big picture. Right. And so that's one thing I always harped on as an FTO with my new rookies coming out of the academy, is just like, hey, if you're not the one initiating this traffic stop and you're in the pursuit, you keep your mouth shut. The one that initiates, the one is barking the orders. You do whatever I tell you to do.
And for us, if there was a reason why the officer who initiated can't call the make the commands, then we have a quick discussion right there, or you call them out, or you do this, you do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody knows their role.
Right. Somebody got to take control of the scene.
Right.
So there's no confusion. Nobody gets hurt unnecessarily.
Right.
We got shots fired. 32-33.
That's a ballistic shield, for those who don't know.
Unlock the door! Passenger! Listen to me carefully! Face away from me! Face away from me! Show us your hands! Stand up! Hey, my guy, stand up! Keep your hands up! Back up towards the sound of my voice! Keep coming! Keep coming! Keep coming! Keep coming! Keep coming! Stop right there! Hold on! Just sit tight!
So that's the suspect screaming.
Mm-hmm. Get out of the car! One at a time! Turn around! Walk back towards me! Relax! Stay in the car! Stay in the car! Yeah. We have like 4 others in here and driver's shot. I think this guy shot. Get out of the car! Get out of the car! You climb over him! Climb over him! Come out of the car! Come on, climb over you! Come out of the fucking car! Turn around! Turn around! Turn around! Turn around and come to us! Where do you have the freeway shut down, Daphne? Shut down north and south. I'll get you nothing. Get out of the car. He's shot. That's 36A. On your side. Three shots? 3. Get a good location. Hey. I'm trying. 3233. I need the location here. Just south of Capitol.
Real quick, as you can see, it's not as simple as just running up and grabbing people out of the car. There's a very procedural way of doing that. Again, you don't know if there could be somebody still armed inside that car, even though you believe they were shot. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if somebody got a gun in that car, if they're going to shoot back at you or what. So you still have to be very methodical in getting people out of this car.
And to answer Tara question. So that's it has to be done like that. Like Mike said a few minutes ago, usually for us, it was always the one who initiated this pursuit. They're the ones that's giving the orders of getting out of the vehicle. And typically, you start with the driver and then the passenger, and then you get the ones out of the back seat. Sometimes it happens that way. Situations are always going to dictate based on, who might be injured or whatever. Then you just start, hey, driver in the back rear passenger seat behind the driver, step out of the vehicle, and then you move to the other side. So it should be in some type of a sequential order, if you will.
Yeah. That's a good question, T-Hall.
How to get them out and who to, and that's why I say should only be one voice, and that's the one who initiated. But it always don't happen that way. I mean, a lot of adrenaline going, tunnel vision going. It's a lot of things, but you have to remember, hey, I'm the one initiate this, I'm the one that's going to be making the calls. It's my scene. I'm in charge.
Right.
Even if the supervisor shows up, yeah, the supervisor's the supervisor, but I'm still in charge of the scene.
Yeah. That officer is still the one in charge, supervisor or not. You know what I'm saying? The officer is the one in charge of that scene. That's a good question, T. Hall. Yeah. So usually for me, I would direct which one I want to get out of the car. I'll say something like, right rear passenger, step out of the car, and try to do methodical that way. You know,
if you can see the description of their clothes, driver with the red ball cap, step out of
right.
it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Right. You use what you have.
Yeah. Here we go.
North Vienna on the freeway. Just north of Vienna on the freeway. Right, look at that trip, bitch. You got it? Yeah. Lay down. Back, right. Lay down. It's out of the vehicle. Vehicle's clear. Looks like we got 3 shots.
A total of 6 suspects were in the vehicle. The suspect vehicle was determined to be a stolen auto, and a firearm was recovered from the vehicle. That firearm was a service weapon for a Waukesha County Sheriff's deputy, stolen from his personal car outside his cousin's home on Brady Street, Milwaukee in September. The driver, Calveyon Jeans, 17 years old, was shot in the arm and jaw. He is charged with attempted armed robbery as a party to a crime, armed robbery as a party to a crime, operating a motor vehicle to flee, or in an attempt to elude an officer, drive or operate a vehicle without owner's consent, first degree recklessly endangering safety, second degree recklessly endangering safety, possession of a firearm by an adjudicated delinquent, operating a motor vehicle without owner's consent as a party to a crime, theft of movable property as a party to a crime. Calveyon faces a maximum of 114 years in prison if convicted of all charges. His pregnant girlfriend, Ashley Patterson, 18 years old, was in the passenger seat and was shot in the head and back and has life-threatening injuries. The baby did not survive. Patterson is charged with attempted armed robbery as a party to a crime, armed robbery as a party to a crime, operating a vehicle without owner's consent as a knowing passenger. Ashley faces a maximum of 60 years and 9 months in prison if convicted of all charges. Tyrone Rogers, 17, is charged with attempted armed robbery as a party to a crime, armed robbery as a party to a crime, operating a vehicle without owner's consent as a knowing passenger. Tyrone faces a maximum of 60 years and 9 months in prison if convicted of all charges. The accused ringleader, Samira A. Dean, 18 years old, is charged with attempted armed robbery as a party to a crime, armed robbery as a party to a crime, operating a vehicle without owner's consent as a knowing passenger, operating a motor vehicle without owner's consent as a party to a crime, theft of movable property as a party to a crime. Samira faces a maximum of 72 years and 9 months in prison if convicted of all charges. According to the criminal complaint, Dean sold a car stolen earlier that day for $200 and some marijuana to a marijuana dealer. Dean also told an investigator that she generally steals vehicles for buyers expecting them, and admitted she had stolen 4 cars the day before. A 15-year-old girl and a 16-year-old boy were in the car that aren't named and could face charges in juvenile court. Thank you for watching Video League Police.
There you go. You know, so there you have it. That's a good video of how pursuit, what goes on in a pursuit. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, pursuits are dangerous.
Yeah,
very dangerous.
Very.
And that's why you gotta be mindful when you're driving and not be on your phone. And you as a citizen, you gotta be cautious of these things, and make sure you get out of the way, pull off to the side if you're able to. But Mike, these sentences that these individuals could get if found convicted are I mean, that's their whole life gone for, for what? Stealing cars because they're too lazy to go out and get a job. I mean, it's ridiculous. And they had a gun in the vehicle, and they ain't even old enough to have a firearm. So again, what law would have kept them from getting that gun? They stole it. These guys don't have no, what word am I looking for? No respect for the rule of law, and no matter what laws we have out here, this is the life that they chose. This is what they get. Now we know they're gonna get plea deals, and somebody gonna squeal on somebody else to get a deal. They're not gonna get these maximum sentences and spend 114 years in jail. No, that it just ain't gonna happen. But maybe it should, Mike. Maybe it should.
I mean, we can. That's a whole nother discussion. I understand.
It is,
backgrounds.
But look how hard it is on the officers, right? These officers, I'm sure they get off on this. They're right back out on the streets doing this same thing all over again, right? What lesson did they learn? All because we don't want to keep black kids locked up.
No, I hear what you're saying.
It's frustrating as law enforcement that you got to, if the justice system won't do anything, they're going to be right back out here on the streets doing this exact same thing all over again. And then the next time, they might get killed.
Well, that's just it. This time, they got stopped. And unfortunately, they got shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they got
next
shot.
Time, you might not survive that shooting. Or you might not survive that crash. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. But another thing is,
he stole 4 cars just the day before, Mike.
Yeah, that's true. You know what I'm saying? But I think a lot of people don't realize there's a lot of responsibility that falls on the officer too, as far as whether or not you initiate pursuit and whether or not you continue pursuit. You know what I'm saying? And what goes on during that pursuit. As you can see, there's a lot of responsibility that falls on that officer who continues that pursuit. You know what I'm saying? There's just so many decisions that you have to make and consider. So, if that person would have crashed and killed a citizen in the crash, who are they going to be looking at? They're going to be looking at the cop who continued the pursuit and whether or not that pursuit should have been continued. Out here in California, they are really busting down on pursuits. You know what I'm saying? They have been for some time, but especially now.
I think that's across the board, because I know we have, especially when it comes to motorcycles. We've cut down on those, and now where a supervisor would just be back at the office listening to the pursuit on the radio, now the supervisor has to be out there on scene at the wherever the pursuit comes to a stop. And so a lot of changes have taken place for pursuits. I know a couple of mine have ended in some very bad crashes. And again, they were early in the morning. One was on a Saturday. This one, I think, was during the week. Guy was late for work, didn't want to stop because he didn't want to get a ticket, and hit this truck so hard, knocked the rear axles off the truck. And he was, and that's why I had you stop it in the beginning, because it reminded me of that, where he wasn't going the wrong direction, but the car was coming out. He had the green light. Our light had turned red. He just kept going and T-boned him right there at the intersection. And they're dangerous. And again, you had to have your head on a swivel as a citizen, listening for those sirens going, so not having your music blasting so loud that you can't hear, um, the lights or hear the sirens coming up from behind or in front of you, whatever. You can't see the lights because you drive out there. I mean, and that subject that's being pursued, he's not going to stop. He or she is not going to stop. The only way they're going to stop is if they hit something. But their job at this point is to get away, and they're gonna do whatever they got to do to get away from the police. So if it's hitting you, and then you as the citizen in there, you hopefully you got some good insurance if you get hit, because they're not gonna pay for it because these kids don't have insurance. They're riding around in stolen vehicles.
Now in our department, our policy was no more than 2 officers, 2 patrol cars can be in a pursuit, not counting the supervisor. You know what I'm saying? So no more, like you see on TV, you see 20 officers chasing the same car. You know what I'm saying? Well, not in our department. In our city, it was only 2 officers, no more than, 2 cars, right? Basically, no more than 2 cars in the pursuit itself, not counting the supervisor. Supervisor can join if they wanted to, but no more than 2. So, and a lot of responsibility fell on that officer to determine if that pursuit was worth it.
And that's interesting. We didn't have a policy like that. I think so. We look forward to getting to a pursuit. And typically it wasn't a lot of us working, it might just be 2 of you working 3 cities. And so but typically on a good day it'll be 4 of you out there. And so most of the time you have at least yourself and maybe 2 other units. And very, sometimes you get city guys get up on there if it's a big pursuit like a armed robbery or something like that. They might get up there and assist us, but we assist a lot of city guys because see we could do a lot of things like you couldn't do, right? Yeah. You do great. All right, get back. State's got it, and we come take it over. But that's just how we roll. But it's dangerous, man. I was looking for one of my videos CDs I had of a pursuit I had got in. I wanted to play it tonight, but remind me next week. I'll look for it and get on to show you. From one of us, like, we've been in these pursuits and they're dangerous and it's not Hollywood. It's not Hollywood.
No, it ain't. Although a pursuit was the first thing I experienced as a rookie police officer that made me think, well, this is gonna be some kind of job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was a pursuit. A officer was started off with an officer fighting a suspect and on foot. He was fighting him. But then we got into pursuit, and it was kind of exciting. I gotta say, that was the first time I had ever been in a pursuit or anything close to that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it was something to see.
Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed this video. You hope you got something out of it. The dangers of pursuit and what an officer goes through, the type of mindset that officer has to have while they're going through a pursuit, and the sort of actions, responsibilities of the citizens in this. Always be on alert while you're driving. And paying attention, staying off your cell phones. So again, if you like this video, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button for us. Once again, we want to thank everybody for watching us, and enjoy your Labor Day weekend coming up. Last weekend was some good barbecue. But if you'd like to be on our show or got a good video for us to check out, email us at brothers-in-law21@gmail.com. We'd love to have your video on, and we also would love to have you on the show and break it down a video with us and let us hear your points of views as well. And so, Mike, final words.
Thanks for joining us. Delando, Goat, Tone, T Hall, Stacy, Badass, Blackjack. We see you all on here. Well, as soon as you jump on, we see you. Jesus loves you. Appreciate you guys checking us out and staying with us. So that's cool.
Yep.
Let's have a good weekend.
Yeah, have a good weekend. Stay safe. God bless you all. We love you. Peace out.
Peace out.